was out in Greenville, went there for criminal justice, went there for a year and then left, and then came home and joined the military. I've been in the Air Force for the past 13 years, and I'm going to keep going until I hit 20 years. And I'll decide after that whether I want to retire. I thank everyone around this table who are veterans. There's a lot here. I want to thank Devlin for coming out. He's also a candidate for the senatorial district, and it is 37. So Devlin's a good support, and I'll support him in any way I can, and he supports me in every way that he can. So I think that's awesome to see. Even though he's running for Senate and I'm running for the State House, it's nice to see us getting together, us, collaborating for the common good. So after going back to leaving and going to the military, it was an experience that I never thought I would do in my life. I was far from going to the military in high school. I liked to play basketball, ran track, cross country, did stuff like that. Went on mission trips in high school, and I was like, this is great. It's great going out and talking to the people. It's great helping the people. All this stuff is good. But how do I keep it going farther? And so I said, you know what? I'll serve my country. That's what I'll do. So I went to the Air Force because I had family that was in the Marines, and the Army, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go there. I have friends that are in both branches, and they're great people. Everyone who serves, it's amazing. To take on that oath, to serve and protect the country is amazing. So I decided I went to the Air Force and met a lot of good people, a good group of guys I went there with, and women I served with. And the camaraderie is unbelievable. I mean, you can serve with someone in Afghanistan and then see them again in Georgia, and it's like you didn't skip a beat. You guys are like the best friends. But being in the military, it has taught me leadership skills, leadership qualities and capabilities. How to sometimes a leader has to follow. You can't be on top all the time. You have to understand and recognize that there are other ideas. There are other people who come to you for guidance, but sometimes you have to listen to what they have to say to make the best and the brightest decision. So I learned that while serving. Also, I learned that by other various jobs that I worked. I worked for the railroad. I'm a conductor at Norfolk Southern. There's so much you learn there, different unionized jobs, working with people who are maybe even younger than you, who are now your boss. You got to have a mindset for that. So in my life, there's been many issues and problems that came at me, and I just fought them all head on by what I learned growing up. So the big question is, why am I running for the State House? And I'm doing so because I want to be connected with the people, but also learn from them and take that and be the best representative of the people that I can be. Too often we have representatives that go out and they go knocking on doors, they go talking to people, they go raise money, they put their signs up. And these are all, it's a lot of work. As I'm sure Devlin can attest, this is a lot of work to run for public office. But the joy is meeting somebody new every day. The joy is listening to what they may have to say. And there's times when you'll be at someone's house for 10 minutes. They may even invite you inside to sit down and have a glass of water, and they will unload everything that's going on in their district, in their town, in their city, in their borough. And you listen to it because that is your job. But not because only that, because you want to. Because you want to know what their feelings are and what they are going through. A lot of people are having issues with the COVID. They can't get out. They lose communication with their friends and family. They are stuck. They don't know what's going to happen with their jobs. They don't know what's going to happen with their bills. People need leaders. And that's why I want to run for the State House because I feel that coming from the people and working for the people, I can be a great leader. But leaders can be in any form. A leader can be your neighbor. A leader can be your best friend. But I want to be the leader who is the family to the district. I don't want people to say, oh, he's a state legislator, he's on a higher pedestal, or he's a state legislator, we can't go approach him. I want to be someone that you look around and say, this is my brother, this is my father, this is my son, my daughter. I want to have that bond with the people in District 16. Now, besides the whole military life, I've been doing other things. I'm a community coordinator with the NAACP in Beaver County. So with them, I have done 3 different things. One, I've had a clean slate and expungement program at CCBC last year, which I will look forward to doing again this year. Also, I have 2 youth mentorship programs. One is in Rochester High School, and the other one is in Beaver Falls High School that I associate and help with. In this, I've learned that the youth, the adolescents, they want to learn. They want to know what's going on out there. But all too often, when adults come in to teach, they teach from their perspective, or they teach from a perspective that the kids do not understand, because everyone learns differently. So in the program that I run in Rochester High School, I've decided that we need to ask the students what they want to see, ask the students what they want to be, and then bring that to them. A lot of times they say, well, go out and search and go out and do and go out and read. Well, that's not the real life, tangible guidance that some kids need. Working on planes, as I do in the military, you can show me a video, I can read a book, I can take a bunch of tests, but if I don't have a hands-on experience, then I'm never going to learn. So that's what I feel that I bring to the table is hands-on experience. And when I do the youth mentorship programs, I've had youth ask for doctors. So I'll say, okay, instead of just having a doctor come in, what kind of doctor do you want to see? I want to see an optometrist. All right, well, I'll go and find an optometrist to bring them down. So they can actually see what goes on in a day-to-day of an optometrist. Or a lawyer. What kind of, there's many types of lawyers. Maybe you want to see a defense lawyer. Maybe you want to see a prosecuting lawyer. Maybe you want to see a lawyer who only handles real estate. So you go out and find those, and you bring them to the students. So my thing is, if we want to fix this generation and the next generation, we have to go to them and say, what is it that you want to see? What is it you want to do? We can't make a decision for you. It's time that we step up and say, enough is enough. Now, a big hot topic now is what's going on with the George Floyd, which was a travesty about what happened. It's a travesty that had to have anyone's life taken away from them. The issue that a lot of people have is, how did they project that out? How did they say, we're tired of this, we're angry? Well, we have our First Amendment right to protest. So they protest. And then many times other outside entities will come in and disrupt that. And it makes it look bad for a lot of people who are involved. Meanwhile, we know that it's not the protesters who are causing the problems. It's those outside entities who come and interfere. I tell anyone who goes to a protest to keep your mind focused on what you're protesting about. Don't let anything on the outside dissuade you, change you, keep your focus somewhere else. No, you keep your mind on what you're going there for and what you stand for. Because you are a representation of your family. You're a representation of those before you. You're a representation for all of those who will come after you. So in that, I believe that we need to have unity. We need to come together. We need to bring We need to bring the police officers, the people in the community, firefighters, church leaders. We need to bring them together and say, these guys aren't bad. They are here to protect and serve. They are here to take care of you. They are here to make sure your life is well worth living. So we can't look at all the police and say, they're all bad because of a few bad apples. We can't look at our teachers and say, oh, well, this one's bad because they don't like me. Or this one's bad because they make fun of the way I talk. We have to look at things with our eyes open. So this leads me to talking about the defund the police movement that's going on right now. My belief is we cannot defund the police. We need to properly train the police. We need to properly train in cultural awareness for our police. And we need to make sure that all police are equipped with body cams so that in their day-to-day actions, we can go back and say, this is what they did, this is what happened. And if the police go above and beyond their normal jobs in the line of duty, if it is not reasonable, then they need to suffer the consequences. They need to be held for what they do. And I don't mean just the police. I mean that's everybody. Everyone needs to be held accountable for what they do. So that is a brief segment about me and what I am about. And I want to leave the floor open for everyone here to ask me the questions. Ask me the tough questions. Make sure you ask me the easy questions too. But I am here for you. So I want to hear, first, when you ask a question, your name, where you come from or represent, and then what is your question? So the floor is yours.
My name is Derek. I'm from Beaver Falls, and I'm representing you, supporting you. That's why I'm here. But my question is, as you were talking about the funding of police, how about the hiring practices of police, and maybe to keep them off balance, how about not, like if there was something to, would it be possible to look at the hiring practices and to maybe the way they partner up police, maybe make the partnership not be so frequent, I mean, I know we have small police departments around here where that may not be tangible, but maybe even the hiring practice every so many years or something, have to hire new police or something like that, or some kind of way to break up the comfortableness that evolves, to try to prevent that cliquishness that can evolve.
Well, I thank you for that question. One thing, and as he stated, the hiring practices for the police. And that I want to address where our thought processes came to do mergers with different police outfits, different precincts to merge together, so we have not so many different individual police precincts and stations. I think that's a great idea, because then if you say, we'll say for example Beaver Falls and New Brighton. So Beaver Falls as a city has their own police, and then New Brighton has their own police force. But if you had a merger between the two, you wouldn't have that time to create those solid cliques. I'm from Beaver Falls, I'm not going to help you, or I'm from New Brighton, I'm going to help you. And I use that as an example, but have them come together and work together. Hiring practices need to change. We got to hire the best and qualified person for the job, and not my cousin, uncle, or nephew for the job. So that definitely, some of that does probably still happen within the departments. I can't say which department specifically, but I'm sure that it still happens, goes on. So we need to definitely look at how we're hiring folks. Is there a requirement for a police officer on the county level? Is there or on the state level, or on the local level in the towns and the boroughs? is there a difference in each one? So we need to look at that as well to distinguish what is Rochester Borough, what is their way of hiring versus Rochester Township. You know, is there a difference? Or how many they can have on the police force versus how many can be over here in the borough? Because if you only can have 5 police officers in the township because of the amount of the population, and we can have 10 over here in the borough, well, that creates an issue, because then the people are not going to be, you're going to see the same officers all the time in the township, whereas the borough, you might see a different set together all the time. So I think we need to focus on that aspect. And I know there are equal opportunity clauses that are involved. You have to hire so many, Latino officers, so many black officers, so many Caucasian officers. Every different race and ethnicity you have to hire according to a certain number. Well, I don't believe in that. Because I believe that causes you to just hire whomever. They said, okay, if we have to meet a quota of 3 black officers in a year, then I'm just going to go out and find whoever random wants to be an officer and hire them. I'm not saying that's how it's done, but it can be perceived that way in certain situations. So it's time that we start opening the books and saying, okay, what are your procedures in hiring? What are your procedures in training? What are your procedures in your routines? We need to address each and every one of those. So then we can come back and say, okay, maybe this is how we should do this, and this is done over here differently, but it works. Can we bring it over here? So we need to have a police collaboration to talk about what's going on and how to address it. And I think a police review board also would be a great thing to have, but let it be the citizens' police review board. Let the citizens be able to bring out the issues and the problems with their police department, because if you have a police review board, not saying this is how all police operate, but they have the good old boys club to take care of their own. So with that, we need to have a citizens review board with maybe one officer on there to say, okay, well, this is what goes on, this is how we're trained, this is what happens. So they're aware, but then the review board can say, okay, we believe this happened, and then we can bring in a judge or a district attorney outside of that district or area to preside over a case or something brought up against an officer. So it's more it's random. There's a different opinion, there's a different way of looking at it, and it's fair. And I think the people in the area will agree that, you know what, it's time that we have a say-so as well. So if that answers your question,
it does.
That's what I think I would do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, the Air Force is better than the Army, if that was your question. Do we have any other questions? I know everyone's burning with questions. So I go off on a program that I have also brought down here, because I said I graduated from Penn State with my degree in criminal justice. So my focal point is criminal justice reform. I have a program brought from Yale University. It's called Emilio, and we're bringing that down to Beaver County. So Beaver County can be the pilot program for this. So this program allows the family of incarcerated inmates to be able to send letters and to have video conferencing via the cell phone. Now, none of the incarcerated people have cell phones. It's all done on an iPad. So they have an iPad set up at different stations where they can come and their family can set up a time frame to do a visitation, and they can do it right there via the iPad. And I think that's something good that we can bring down here to Beaver County, so that if this virus extends and the jail says no more visitors, we can still have telecommunication with the families, which would help lower the recidivism rate of those incarcerated. Now also, the other thing I'm looking at is to be able to send letters. So what the process goes is you'll send letters via the cell phone. It's like a regular text message. And that's good because you can do it from anywhere. If I was sitting right here and want to send a letter, I can send a letter. If you're in the grocery store waiting in those long lines that we have right now, you can send a letter. So, or you can come back to the letter later. You can type up something, come back later, and keep adding to it, and you send it off. So it goes through the Emilio network, and then they will print out the letter. So that saves you as the family member money from buying the paper, buying the envelopes, and also buying the stamps. And it also saves your time because, maybe the whole day, how fast can we write a letter versus typing out a letter on the phone? I'm pretty sure I can do it pretty quickly. And there's probably kids younger than me that can do it faster than I can. So this saves the time, but it also is safe because you figure if you have a letter and you send it in the mail, you don't know what can happen in that process. Or if somebody wants to cause harm to that person inside, they will lace it with whatever and put it in the envelope in and send it off. So whenever they open it, as we all seen happen previously before the prisons and jail letters had to go to St. Petersburg, Florida, but they were sending stuff through the mail. If it was drugs, if it was a virus. So now doing it on your phone, you send it, it's printed. So now the person who opens it and reads it is safe. It's a safe system. They send it out and they mail it. It goes to the inmate at no cost to the family or friends of the loved ones. And I think that would definitely help recidivism because at this time, it would be very hard to go and visit loved ones. You would have a restriction on your visitation. So this would definitely help keep that constant contact. And right now, this is being funded for free for the family, and the Emilio project is going to fund it for 1 to 2 years, so it's free for the families of the inmates. And then also, after that time frame is over, we'll have federal grants and state grants that are already giving money to the criminal justice system. We'll just put that Emilio on board with that, it's already started to happen. So it's already a process that's already going on. But Western Pennsylvania will be the first, and Beaver County will be the pilot. As of right now, as of last Thursday, we had a letter of intent signed by the Prison Review Board to go forward with this. So now we have to sit down and hash out all the plans to make it happen. That's something else I wanted to put out there. Now, is there any other questions? All right. I thank everyone for coming out today. I will still be around for as long as need be to answer or to talk to you. Anything you want to talk about, feel free to come up to me. I'm an open book. I won't hide anything from you. I believe in transparency. I believe that transparency is the key. I believe that the only way to be successful in this world is to keep moving forward on your failures. If you fail once, you use it as a stepping stone, you readjust, and you keep moving forward. I won't give up, and I will be here for you all the way to Harrisburg, and after Harrisburg, I'll still be here for you. I'm going to be in the community a lot. I'm from Rochester, and you will see me all the time. So you'll get tired of me eventually. I will be around even when the cameras are not on. I'll be around when they are on. I'll be around when they're not on. I'll be at your house, so invite me to Thanksgiving. Invite me for Christmas dinner. I tell you that I would be a state legislator that would be connected with the people. But more importantly, I will not forget the people. Thank you.